On this episode, I say 47 times. Just want to get that out of the way. My guest is Adrien. Why the did I say so many times? This is ridiculous. It's never had what the The late Kobe Bryant had the Mamba mentality. So the only explanation is Adrien's Mamba mentality. I get fired up when people share their calling and their purpose. And she was clearly called to one of the greatest sacrifices, being a parent. And that journey led her to discover her ruptured implant, which ultimately saved her life. And just like Bean Bryant, Adrien hopes to instill her values in her daughter that will empower her to change the world. We also talk about the question of purpose and how we can maximize the impact we have on others. Let's jump in.
Are those like your podcast shoes?
These are the ones I'm wearing for you today.
Oh, you change them out.
Every podcast has another pair of shoes. I really, to be honest.
Wait a minute. So you have a pair of shoes for every podcast?
I mean, I got more than a pair of shoes for every podcast, but these are the ones I chose for your podcast.
I want to know why. These.
Okay. So do you know what these are?
They're Nike.
Okay. What else?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is
there's got to be a reason you picked them out.
Yes.
Like these ones
yes.
specifically.
Okay. So these are the Kyrie. Okay. And they're called the Mamba Mentality because they're a homage to Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
And one of his shoes that looks like this.
Okay.
You follow all that?
Yeah.
So why did I pick that shoe?
Yeah.
One, because currently while we're recording this, Kyrie Irving is a member of the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Which is Landon's favorite basketball team.
Yeah.
Okay. And personally, I feel like you kind of have a Mamba mentality.
Oh, okay.
Or at least a Mamba mentality.
Yeah, I definitely have a Mamba mentality. I want to know what you mean by a Mamba mentality, though.
Well, do you know what Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality was?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. It was just like his way of thinking of the way he was like, determined to win all these championships, do what it takes to win, be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does that describe you?
I mean, I feel like it describes how I try to live my life, but I feel like there's so much more I could be doing, so much more to give. So I'm in a weird place where I feel like I'm like, I don't want to say like wasted information or talent, but I feel like there's more I could be doing or more I could be giving. So I feel like,
is it more that you could be giving or more that you could have gave?
I feel like there's more I could be giving. I feel like I've given a lot, but I don't feel like I've given it on a larger platform to where I feel like I've been called to be. But I feel like that was what I thought my calling was, not what my calling was. Does that make sense? Like, I think what I want doesn't matter. And the broad perspective of things, like, I feel like I was called to do something big. I really do. I just feel like in this phase of my life, I'm doing the work right now to do whatever is supposed to be done. That's bigger than what I think I should be doing. But I also have a really hard problem with experience, like with being satisfied with what I've already accomplished, because I don't feel like what I've done in this realm from 26 to 41 is big.
Well, what were you supposed to do?
I don't know. I think that what I'm doing is great, but I feel like I know so much and I don't feel like I'm capable of really giving it to people, or I don't feel like people think of me more than, gym, CrossFit, fitness. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a different, I feel like when you were like, I feel like there was a sticker placed on Landon and I for a long time, like fitness, workout, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Tell me if this feels true. You feel like that you are more than just a coach or a trainer.
Yeah, I do.
But that's the label that most people give you.
Yeah, I think that when you're in the industry that we're in and you can relate, I feel like you're in the industry of rinse, wash, repeat. You know what I mean? Like help someone as much as you can be the better version of themselves. Dive into that relationship, create that relationship, mold that relationship, do everything you can, give everything you can to give of somebody, of yourself to somebody. And then they kind of like move on, right? And then you just move on to the next person that you can help, you know? I just feel like there's more to be given. And I feel like we are very confined to this little box.
When you say we are confined, you
I
mean
think
like
Landon
us?
and I, as like, or me, right? But I think both of us, for sure.
Okay, but confined how?
Maybe by our circumstances, maybe by our
Okay, wait. Can we just? I just want to go back to this. Okay, you said
I don't even know why I started talking about this.
you said you like. Hang on, but you said I feel like I've been working on something all this time. Like I feel like working towards something.
No, I feel like there's got to.
What if it's just not here yet? What if you're still working towards it? And
I am being very patient. And I'm still doing all the things that I'm doing. And I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to mold. And I'm still trying to absorb. And I'm still trying to, but I'm getting to the point where I'm a little bit, the patience is becoming more impatient. I don't know if that impatience is me stepping out of my comfort zone. Or doing something that's bigger out of fear. That's not like leaving CrossFit Round Rock or doing something besides owning the gym. It's like taking what I know on top of that and like making it something bigger in regards to helping people. And I still don't know what that is. I feel like I'm in a very weird place in my life where I've done the same thing for a very long time. I've become really good at it. And then I became a mom and my life kind of flipped upside down. And now I feel like I've got this like ability to shift someone's kind of like you were saying, someone's mind set, shift them literally in 1 hour from this human to that human. But I'm confined to doing it in a very like small way in my gym. If someone shows up, if I get a new person type of like, I just feel like there's more to offer. I genuinely feel like I have more to give to a lot more people.
But what if that's not your purpose?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I guess it's not.
No, it doesn't mean look, okay, so remember how I was saying.
But how is it to live in a place where you feel like there's more to give?
That's where I live.
I know. I feel like you're in the same place.
I'm just really excited.
Yeah, you really excited to just what?
I'm really excited to see what it is.
I know. When does it happen though?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like,
you know what I'm talking about. You know what the feeling is because I feel like
this is what I think was sad is that like there's probably a lot of people that are like y'all two are crazy. You know what I mean? Like what are y'all talking about? Like like your purpose and all this shit. I mean, but like I think what people don't understand is that like, okay, yeah, maybe we're crazy, but we'll say we're not. Okay,
I'm fully aware that people think I'm crazy,
and we'll say it's a 50-50 split. Some 50% of people think they don't have purpose, and then 50% of people think they do. I'm having a much better time over here, guaranteed.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, because I'm looking for. You're investing into yourself. You're looking for why you're here.
Yeah, here's where I think I have an issue is that I don't even know if issue is the right word. I feel like I was put on this planet. Like I feel like I was put on this planet to help people.
You do.
Period. Dot. And I feel like everyone can probably say that in some way, shape, or form.
Not really.
I do help people. But I feel like I help people in a very small scale. Although we are called to help in a small scale, like, right? You know, however we do it on a day-to-day basis. Some people live their lives and their careers and don't help anyone, right? Or they don't look at it that way. But I feel like when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed at night, have I helped someone? Like, have I truly been there for someone that needs me? And I feel like from a larger perspective, or maybe it's selfish in what I want to fill my voids is to help more people. And I don't feel like I am capable. One, there's not enough hours in the day to do that. Two, I'm a mom now, right? And that's become my top priority. So becoming a mother has shifted me to be very selfless in regards to fulfilling my career. You know, I feel like I've kind of bottomed out, right? I've done what I can with the time that I have. Being there for Tristan is top priority type thing. But I feel like I'm like just sitting back and I keep thinking about like, okay, maybe in like 10 years, maybe that's when it's all going to like, I'm going to get this.
You mean help? I can help. I can fix this right now.
Oh gosh.
How many clients you got right now? You just like your own like personal like one-on-one clients. How many do you work with?
Like nutrition and PT and one-on-one.
How many people you touch a day? 20, 30 people a day?
I would hope, yeah.
Okay. We'll just go with that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about each one of these individuals?
10.
Okay.
Because they're human and they're alive.
Okay. Now, how are you going to do that on a large scale if you plan to care about every single person that you're trying to touch? How are you going to do that on a large scale? There's not enough of you to go around. So, there might be a very small limit to the impact that you would like to have versus an impact you could have, but it's not the impact you want. You want to have a 10 impact on people, and you can't do that.
I feel like the world is lost, man. I feel like people are sad, and I feel like people are alone, and I feel like people don't love themselves, and they don't. I mean, I've been there too, but like, I feel like I have this complete, and I've had it for so long. I've had this like burning desire inside of me to help more people, and I can't.
I feel 100%.
I can't do it. So how do I do it? Is it standing in a room and being a public speaker to 500 people at a time? I have no idea what that means. But I do feel like I have an ability to make a room shift.
100%.
I have an ability to. I mean, I don't want to say turn heads because that sounds like very like, aesthetically driven, but like, no,
you have an ability to get people to pay attention.
Yeah. And I have a presence that I feel like, I've been gifted with to help people with
100%. And
I feel like I can't do that right now. And that's also me battling with this whole motherhood crap that I'm in right now, right? It's just, like you said, it's very, very, how selfless do you want to be? How much are you willing to sacrifice? And I feel like I've done a lot of that, right? I mean, I crazy homeschool my child to give up tons of stuff, Landon, and I've given up tons of hours of work, given away classes, all the things so we can be with our daughter more, right? And be around her as she grows. But I definitely feel like there's just like over this overwhelming feeling of like you should be doing more.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say my perspective on this whole thing, not how my life's going over here, right? My daughter is going to be 4. In my mindset, the next 14 years are dedicated to her.
I agreed.
She is number one priority over podcast or anything else. Mine is like work because that's where the money comes from, right?
Yeah, you have to pay for it to live, right?
You have to pay for it to be here.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the am I going to do after that? You know what I mean? Because I know I'm going to be kind of sad, and I know that I'm going to be proud. I hope, and I know that if I do my job, she'll be like, "Peace out, Dad." Like I'm going to go be something. I'm like, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? And then it's going to be me and Aaron, and like I'm going to be like 60, and like my life's not going to be over.
No, I hope not.
But we'll just say from now, 48 to 60, I'm still making videos and putting them on the internet and YouTube. Who knows what the this shit is at that point? You know what I mean? And at that point, maybe it's what I do just off into the like sunset. You know what I mean? I don't know what the plan is. It seems pretty good. But maybe along the way, God or the universe is going to call me to something different. And so I'll go, all right. You know what I mean?
Do you have, but you're okay being in that unknown. I'm not.
Well, I mean, but like, okay, like I hate, like this sounds f***ed up, but like you are, like I don't care if you like it or not. You are in the unknown. You
For
don't.
sure. I get that. I don't.
So like, I mean, you can not like it, or you can become friends with it.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like I've accepted it. I don't know if I'm gonna be friends with it. That's a whole other ball game.
Well, I mean, like acceptance is the awareness and the knowledge to understand that this is really what's happening.
I live in a very would you say that you're more of a present driven person or more of a futuristic driven person? Like, are you like thinking like I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking I'm good. I'm thinking the future is probably cool, but like I don't need to really press on that too much.
For me, life events and things happen that got me to here to feel this way. So before that, before Christ, Scottie, or whatever the you call it, I lived in the anxiety of the future and the depression or the, of the past of, what had happened and what's going to happen and shit. Right. And so for me personally, the first thing I had to really do was just let go of the past. Like, I mean, like planning for the future isn't that bad. I mean, the anxiety around that's like not good, but like it's better than dwelling in the past.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how do I fix my past? So, I've already been going therapy for a long time. I found a good therapist that I really liked that apparently, I guess, worked. I don't know. Right. But like I dealt with that shit. And then I started working on my anxiety about the future, focusing on how I can be present the majority of the time. And I'm like, I don't know if this is true. It feels true to me. I can feel when I start shifting into one or the other. I can actually go like, I'm like in my mind, like, fuck, you're here. This is that area. Like, how long do you want to be here? Like, and I'm just working through it as fast as I can. But like, I mean, that's some hard. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. That's hard shit
to be able to shift like that.
So now imagine someone that has like no experience in that, trying to navigate this new world of bullshit. And these are the people that you're talking about that you want to help. You know what I mean? But, you were saying that. I
do want to help them from like I don't know. I feel like, most people, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the idea around being healthy and fit and aesthetically pleasing to yourself or others, staying out of the nursing home, however you want to look at fitness and movement. I feel like it's become something that is either you got like two camps, right? You got like a camp that just, it's their life, it's their lifestyle. They don't understand why people don't do it. There are other people that don't do it are lazy. Then you got this other camp that are the complete opposite, right? That are working 12-hour shifts, are parents to multiple kids, just trying to keep their heads afloat. They can't afford it, whatever else. So you got these two camps, but they like trying to find a way to make this camp kind of meet in the middle to where it's more realistic for them to like take care of themselves. And I feel like a lot of people are not taking care of themselves. And I feel like our society has made it very difficult to take care of yourself. One with cost of living, one with how honestly, just, I don't want to say being lazy, because I hate when people say they're just being lazy. And I hear a lot of trainers say that, a lot of coaches say that, or gym owners, they're just lazy. I don't think that's it. I think that there's a lot more to it. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that need help in that area.
Have you ever had a lazy client that wasn't depressed?
I don't know. I don't. I think that they go hand in hand.
Well, I think at least in my world they do. Like,
sure.
You know what
When
I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't train elite athletes, so I don't know. But like in my world, depression and, laziness are pretty linked.
Yeah. Whenever you don't, for me personally, I will tell you, I just worked out with someone today who's, very special to me, and she knows, because she knows I'm coming to this too. But I was talking to her because she's been through this journey where she was super consistent. She's not. And coming to the gym and stuff. And I kind of got into the gym and I was like trying to get her back on track. And I was like, like 80% of the time, none of us want to be doing this shit. Right. But that idea of coming out on the other side from the anxiety and the depression and all of that is worth it, right? You just got to get to the other side. And I feel like a lot of people are not being met there, right? They're not being, it's just like this, get off your ass, come work out, like, or just get off your ass and make your food. Like all these constant things that people just don't understand what it's like. I mean, I've been there. I've been where I have zero want to work out and I have to, right? This is a life that I live. Like if I don't work out, what am I trying to promote to everyone, right? But like getting my shoes laced up to start working out when I'm super depressed is extremely hard. Like I don't want to do it. It's the last thing I want to do. But once literally within 3 or 4 minutes of just moving, it's flipped, right? And maybe that's just because that's how I heal, right? I just did a somatic breathwork seminar and he was the coach that did it or whatever, guide, whatever you want to call him. He said, when I have people that come in here that work out, they have the most to release. And I was like, really? Because I did a lot myself. I did a lot of screaming. I went in there and I was determined and ready to release. And I was ready to do that. Right. And I was like, really? I was like, what's the reasoning behind that? He's like, it's just recycled shit that you guys are all storing up. Right. You're not like fully releasing it, but you guys have found this way to move all this around and it's your way of releasing it, but you really haven't fully released it.
Because workout is stress. That's right.
Right. So I think that personally, the journey I'm in with myself and my journey to health and wellness throughout this we've both been doing this a long time, where I feel like there was a point in my life where fitness was just my camp. Right. I worked out a lot. How clean did I eat? Probably okay. Probably didn't focus on water, drank so much alcohol on the weekends, partied, work hard, play hard, trainer life. Right. Didn't focus on anything. But I think as I'm going through this journey that I've personally put myself on to find my true self and where I need to be healing wholeheartedly, I'm learning these camps and I'm learning that this fitness component, it's an important component for me, critical, but it's not it. Right. Like, and I feel like because I'm learning that aspect of it through my healing journey, I kind of feel like I'm evolving myself into something bigger than I feel like what's currently offered at most fitness studios, I guess you could say, right? So I feel like lately I've been trying to figure out what that looks like.
Well, it's kind of funny that you say that. And we were kind of talking about it a little bit before. I think that's, I realized a long time ago that one, the mental part of who you are is very much attached to the physical part of what you do. A lot of my clients would fill out forms indicating that they were on depression medication. It's already been proven that exercise, it helps depression. We can go through all that.
Yeah, it's very important.
All that shit, right? What I've come to realize is that, at least in my opinion, everyone has 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 hands, whatever, blah, 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 for the most part. Okay. Everybody can make it to the gym, drive a car. We can do all the physical stuff, but your mind is either going to get you to go or not to go.
Mm-hmm. It's figuring out why.
Yeah. And so you got to figure out why are you going through that cycle? And until you feel that, you're just going to have the same cycle. And even as long as I've been like doing health and like working out and stuff like that, I feel like I am finally figuring out at least my cycle. And like, I feel like it's a cycle that everyone can kind of use.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I really had to wrap my head around is the lack of load that I put on my body.
Mm-hmm.
But my body is better than it was.
Yeah.
And I think
there's
it's
a fine line between those two.
and you have to find out, like, I mean,
everyone's so different, right?
Well,
like
and
what lights you up is different too.
you were talking earlier about like people that camp and people that work out and people that don't. To me, it's like, it's just simply like this. On some level, these are the people that are investing into themselves, and these are people that are not willing to.
I feel like that's a lot to say, though.
No, I don't think it's a lot to say at all,
do.
because like even the people that are positively investing in themselves, how are you investing yourselves,
Yeah.
and how much better could that be? Because, you know,
How many people actually care about getting better?
well, and even in the camp of the
Some
people
people
that,
don't even
people
care
that are
about
trying
that.
to get better, how much do they really care? You know, it's like when you were saying earlier, like when we were younger, you know, we would eat good and work out, but then we go out and drink on the weekends. How much did we really give a? We didn't really care that much, because if
No,
we did,
it sure was fun though.
it was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But if we really had cared
Yeah.
about our bodies,
Yeah.
we would have treated it better. But that's just part of growing up.
Yeah, it's part
You know
of
what I mean?
life. I feel like life is so different when you have a family. I will say for me personally, when we had Tristan and seeing this shift in our life and our schedule, I was immediately slapped across the face in regards to all the times prior to having Tristan, all the times where I'm like, why didn't they make it to the gym? Why did they, you know, like what's their excuse now type thing. But I completely understand right now, like with the thickness of life that Landon and I are in, with a very busy work schedule, with having a child, like why it's just not a priority for people, right?
Can I challenge that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Do you know what my workout schedule is? Probably not. I mean, why would you know?
I have an idea.
Yeah, no idea. It's any day that's available, right? Because I go to Fitness Connection, okay, and they have a little app, and it tracks your history of when you go to the gym, right? Do you know how many days now, I feel like I go to the gym often.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many days I average per month?
How many?
15 out of 30, half the month. And I feel like I go a lot, right?
Well, I feel like the average human, if they hit 3 times a week, they're doing a damn good job.
Yeah, but how are you showing up for those 3 days? So, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think it matters? Do you think in different phases of life though, like how you show up, do you think that matters though? Or do
Okay,
you feel
let
like
me-
showing up is enough?
If I told you that,
Because there's sometimes where I show up, but I'm not all there.
okay, if I told you that every day at 6 a.m., somebody might show up with $1 million, all you got to do is answer the door. How many times are you going to get up at 6 a.m. and answer the door for 365 days?
For $1 million?
Yep.
And guaranteed someone's going to show up.
On one of those days. Now, I don't even know what day. One of those
days out of 3, there's a guarantee someone's showing up 365 days. I would wake up every day.
So you're showing up 365 days for the one day,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is working out. In my opinion, that is working
Very
out.
good way to describe it.
You know what I mean? Because I'm showing up for every available day, and then how I show up for those days, that's what got me to stop drinking so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because the days became more valuable because now I got to split them with her. I'm being funny.
No, yeah.
But you're splitting time with your child now. So like my days have become much more valuable.
Yeah.
And that's why, and that's a lot of reasons why like relationships with friends go away when you have kids, but also I still try to nurture those as well. So that cuts into my time too. So then the workouts and me time becomes that much more valuable. Mm-hmm. And when I don't have her for like 3 days in a row, man, I can just feel it inside. I'm like, God damn it, I have got to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Because if I don't go through my routine and do my shit and go to the sauna and do my meditation, all this stuff, I'm going to like lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's all I need.
Do you feel like people that haven't gotten to that point yet?
I hate to sound like a dickhead, but like people are so far away.
I know.
But it's a lot of their habits and what they do and how they spend their time. Ask me how much I'm on social media. Ask me how much time I spend on my phone. Ask me the TV shows that I watch. Who the has time to do TV shows? I'm doing this bullshit, plus being a dad, plus being a partner, plus working a job.
Yeah.
Who has time to watch TV?
I mean, I watch TV like 30 minutes.
But yeah. I mean, yeah. Like
every night.
It's like, no, it's a scheduled. Look, a brand new.
Are you telling me people watch TV all day?
Are you kidding me? Okay, so none of your clients like just come in and go like, "Hey, I just binge watched something."
I mean, people say that, but I thought
So
they were
how
just
do you
doing it
think
like
that happened?
once every 90 days, right?
No, I mean,
Dude, when's the last time you binge watched something? Like seriously.
okay, what's
People with kids binge watch stuff? There's zero chance.
okay? So binge? What are we defining as binge watching?
You
A
know,
whole series in one day?
I mean, I don't even know what to classify it as. I really don't.
Okay, this is what I do right now.
So you do it.
No,
You
I don't know. You're going to tell me.
Okay.
I'm watching the history of the 60s.
On what?
It's on.
You have very minimal time to watch TV, and this is what you pick to watch.
Yes, it's history. I'm learning. It's on HBO Max. It was done by CNN. They did like each decade.
Ooh, okay, now I'm in.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
Settle down over there. Anyways, okay. And so I watched.
History of what though?
Well, so they do the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. And so they go through the whole decade of what happened over that decade.
Which decade would you go back to after watching it? Out of all of them.
I think I would just stay right where the I'm at. Like,
Really? You
yeah.
wouldn't go back? Why do you say that? Just because you're like all in the present right now?
No. Because like you think about like, so I was born in 1976, right?
Uh-huh.
And like, in that scope, like of the 80s, the world just changed so incredible. Music changed and everything just changed. You know what I mean?
Better, you think?
Well, I mean, temporarily it was for the better. I mean, that's how we got here, right? With all this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time where the world was just like, I mean, it was just exploding. People were like just doing cocaine all the time in movies. And, you know, it's just crazy. It was the 80s. It was the 80s, man. It was crazy. You know what I mean? I just feel like that where I grew up at, if I had to go back and pick one that wasn't mine, I'd pick the 70s hands down.
I feel like I would go back there.
Because the 60s were up.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so
Yeah,
But
we're
that's how you got to the 70s. You know what I
the
mean?
2000s. I'm trying to think. Like,
I mean, I lived those. I don't need to go back to that shit.
yeah. I don't know. I lived those too. I don't know. I feel like there's something compelling and really amazing about the life before everything was so fast.
But you can make it slow, but just people just don't choose to.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm in that phase of life right now.
Meaning what?
Just with I feel like having a kid makes things fast, whether you like it or not. Or I feel like life right now is going by so fast and I want to slow it down, but you just can't. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to absorb it as much as I can. The fact that my kid's almost 7, it just gets completely mind blowing to me. Like I just,
I was telling the lady at the school my daughter goes to today. I was like, I am purposely trying to be present with her. Like, I mean, I am working on it. Like it's my job, right? And I still feel like I'm missing shit. I know. And I'm just like, thank God for iPhones. Because my parents didn't have that shit. All my memories are just poof, in the wind.
I feel like being fully present with Tristan is one of my biggest challenges. And I spend a lot of time with her. Like I'm the crazy homeschool, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but,
okay, so
I feel like I still missed the mark.
Okay, so why not just send her to school? And I'm not challenging like the homeschool. I mean, like I'm on board for whatever people do.
I feel like everyone's different. Right?
No,
I just feel like when you homeschool, you're like crazy. But I was crazy by having a home birth. Everything I've done, everything I've been called to do. This is all me being called to do this. For the record, I wasn't even going to have a child. Lan and I agreed to have no children. That was our deciding factor.
Okay, who broke that rule? Who broke that promise?
I literally woke up one day and I went from someone who did not want to have a child to someone who did.
I literally thought you were going to tell me like you were pregnant and you didn't know, like you're the Virgin Mary. I was just like, well, no wonder you feel like did you need to have a calling? Holy shit. I literally thought that was what you were going to say.
No, that would be a really cool story. No,
So you wake up and you want to have now you want to have a kid.
Yeah, and it wouldn't go away. I mean,
so what changed?
I feel like God called me to have a child.
Okay, but what was the conversation? What did he say?
Me wanting to have a kid all of a sudden. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I want to have a child. And it wouldn't go away. Like it wouldn't go away. I remember texting my best friend at the time and being like that I want to have
So in your recollection, you woke up one day and it was just different.
Yeah.
But you don't remember any kind of conversation or anything that led up to that?
I wasn't really I mean, I feel like I had met Jesus, like in my realm. I feel like I had a conversation with the Holy Spirit, but I don't think I really had fully until later. But like, it was definitely like a presence put on me to want to have a child and to create a human with Landon. And I didn't tell him for over a year.
Okay.
Every night I prayed that it went away.
Why did you not want to tell him?
Because I knew it would be an issue. Because I know Landon.
But
I knew that he did not want to have children.
Okay.
And I knew we agreed before we got married, we were not having children. So we were already married. And then I'm going to go to him and say, I want to have a child, but he doesn't want to have a child. And let's talk about the dysfunction that can create within a marriage.
Okay, really quickly. We're going to fast forward. He's a fantastic dad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you go to him and
Well, when I told him,
yeah.
it had to have been 15 or 16 months after I felt this feeling. That's how long I waited. And I just lived with it. And then I told him.
What did you pray about?
I prayed for God to change my heart.
And what did he say?
No. I mean, but at this point, I didn't have the same relationship.
It's like, do, you have the reach.
You have the wrong number. But I was sure, I was like, this is going to go away. Like, you know, I feel like I went through phases in my life where I was very material, like motherly, that kind of stuff. But I was living in this realm of selfishness or fear. Probably more fear than selfishness of having a child, right? Fear of passing on my eating disorder, fear of not being good enough, fear of losing the child, fear of me dying. Like all these things were all these fears of, and I'm sure Lena was on the same boat, like not dealing with the childhood trauma, like all that kind of stuff, right? And I feel like I have, you know, no family's perfect, but I feel like I had a pretty good run. I had great parents. They raised me well.
Yeah.
Like I had a good run. I feel very blessed. There's no reason why to not. I mean, no one's perfect, right?
Okay.
My parents argued, but that's just normal life, right? They exposed me to the life's not perfect, right? But when I told Landon, we did not speak for days because he was so shook by it. He felt like I had lied to him, that I betrayed him, that I had pretty much, I wouldn't say like had an affair on him, but like I lived, I was holding something from him that's pretty critical to our future marriage.
It's something that could end a relationship.
Absolutely. And he said that immediately to me. He's like, this ends marriages. And I was like, what? Why does this end marriages? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just, he's like, well, you want to have a child and I don't. So like, if I don't give you what you want, you're going to go find it somewhere else. So that was his biggest thing, right? So we just didn't do anything about it. And I created a war room in my house that we were renting at the time. There was this random like little closet underneath the stairs. There's a movie called The War Room. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And essentially I went in there every single day, multiple times a day, and I had little brown pieces of paper. And I wish I had pictures of it, but I just prayed every single day a specific prayer. Flan and I argue because we would argue all the time about this.
That?
Mm-hmm, all the time. And he'd say, I'm just still praying for a sign. I'm still, you know, and then I forever went by. And then there was probably hundreds of prayers all over the wall, the ceiling, everywhere, that I was just sticking everywhere. And then one day he went in there, and I have the card that he wrote in Tristan's room, and it said, I have to take a picture of it because he was like, Jesus, please take away my fear of having a child.
That he wrote that?
He wrote that. It's in Tristan's room. And he put it up in the war room. And then when we would argue some more, we went through some pretty deep crap at that time. Like, we were both really lost, like still kind of trying to find our ways in our, late 20s, early 30s, which is kind of a weird time, right? So then I will never forget, we were standing in that bath in that kitchen, and I was crying again about it at night after like 12 hours a day of working at the gym all day, him too. And I was like, he was like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, you keep saying you're praying for a sign. I'm like, isn't the fact that I'm miserable every single day when I wake up and go to sleep that I want to have a child that bad? And I've never wanted to have a child. Isn't that a sign for us to have a child? And he said, fine, we'll just try and we'll see what happens. Right? Like, that's just what he said. And I was like, it's fine. It's probably not going to happen. I was like, I have endometriosis. I'm 34. How was I? 34 years old. I've had eating disorders. I've like not taken care of my body at all. I overtrained, underate, figure competitor, all the things, right? It's like, it takes people 6 months to a year, if not longer, to get pregnant. Some don't. Like, we would even be grateful to even get pregnant. Like, so many people don't get this gift that, of having a child. And then we got pregnant in 1 month, which is just crazy, right? And now here we are. I mean, and then God called me to do a home birth, and that's like the last thing I would ever do. So then we did a home birth. And so like this whole journey, the crazy thing is the fact that that kid saved me. That's the crazy thing. And I'm not saving me just because she came into my life and saved me. Like, I'm saying, if I would not have had Tristan, and I mean, I can't speak the future, right? I could have found it another way. But in my opinion, if I would not have had her, I would not have forced my body into this like breastfeeding and hormones and everything. It's very disruptive to the hormone system and to the female endocrine system. Like, it's really a lot for it. And I had implants, right? So these implants I'd had prior to that for many years were fine. But with all of that disruption, my body started to reject them. So I finally went through this process to deciding at like 13 months, Tristan was like 13 months old, to cut my milk supply off and to get my implants taken out because I was so sick. Got the implants taken out. My doctor was a doctor for the breast implant illness organization. And he requested, he's on the board. And he was like, I want to do a full DNA test of the capsule and scar tissue just to see if anything was going on that was actually making you sick. Sure enough, takes him out, and I had E. coli in one of my breast tissues on the outside of it, and another infection that would have slowly killed me over time if I would not have taken them out. And my body, like, because of having Tristan 1, it sent my body into overdrive. So it started giving me such weird signs. And I genuinely feel like she was a big part of that. If I wouldn't have been breastfeeding her, if I wouldn't have had her, gone through the trauma of all of what birth does to a female, I'm not sure that I would have even known. So now, fast forward to now, like, I genuinely feel like she saved my life. Right? For many other things, my eating disorder, like, there's so many things that Tristan has done that I know that calling that was placed on me was not just any mistake, right? It was just my job to walk it. I still to this day don't even, I don't want to say that I didn't want to have a kid, but like, I still to this day, for someone who had a child because she was called to versus someone who maternally just felt like she wanted to, is a very different feeling. Does that make sense?
Well,
Like I didn't want to have a kid.
What was the calling?
I didn't want to have a child. I know it's very hard to just say.
No. I think a lot of people don't want to have kids, and they're like, oh shit, like I'm so glad I did this. I mean, like I think that's a very common thing.
Okay, that's good. I feel less alone. I definitely did not want to at all.
I think
I don't take things in life like that. Like I don't know. I take it really seriously, probably too seriously. Giving her, a different chance at health than I did. A different chance at school, like the home birth thing. Like I was called for that, but I also feel called to homeschool her. And the reason why, I know I just totally got off a tangent, but the reason why I personally have chosen to homeschool Tristan is one, I feel like she, just like I feel like I was created for something big, I feel like she is. And she has a lot of energy and she has a lot to give and she's super free spirited. And I don't want that to be died out. Like it's your job as a parent to not let it die. Yeah. And I feel like, although it's super challenging and it's a very much of a sacrifice. And I feel like keeping her in this. So I do a hybrid homeschooling, which I think is a good for me because I'm a school skipper like I was back in the day. So like, it's like built-in school skipping. Yeah. So like, I feel like I would be like, yeah, we'll just get to that next week and then not do it. So it's a good accountability for me to have the hybrid program to where she goes in school Monday, Wednesday, and then she homeschools with me Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They give me the curriculum. I have to stay up to date. So she meets the requirements in class. And then she's able to do gymnastics on a competitive team on Tuesday, Thursdays, be at the gym, be present with Landon and I and what we do and our passion. She gets to be a part of that. When Tristan was in a 5-day-a-week school program, she never saw the gym and she wouldn't, right? She also went, sometimes multiple days not seeing us, like whoever switched off at one early morning, late evening. Our schedule is very different than a lot of people's. And I felt like I lived most of my life not seeing her, or I lived most of my life with her when she was at her worst. At the end of the day, kind of like just to like, I feel like her teachers are getting all of her, Honor. And that was hard for me. I also remember one of her teachers telling me, and I think she was an amazing teacher and I'm very thankful for her, but she was like, oh my gosh, you should see Tristan every day when it's Bible time. She'll go and she'll get her Bible and she'll open it up and she just likes to look through it and like explore it. And like, she knows all the verses and she's like, oh, she's so amazing. And I was just like, dude, I don't see that. like I see drop off, I see pickup, I see dinner, I see bedtime. So like being there for Tristan whenever she's even struggling during a subject or learning how to read, like I'm teaching my kid how to read right now. It's the hardest shit I've ever done in my life. Like seriously, but I get to be a part of that, So, and is it frustrating? Absolutely. Absolutely. But is it super cool to know that I played a part in that instead of just someone else doing it? I kind of like it. So, and she gets to be crazy and she gets to be herself. And she, twice a week, I get a report that Tristan doesn't stop talking in class instead of 5 days a week, right? Like, that's just who she is. She likes to have fun. She likes to party. Like, I want to be able to honor that spirit. And I feel like putting her in that 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, like what it feels like is just kind of what Lana and I completely work against. Like, it's just what we don't do. Well, I think you said some real important things. One of the things you said is, basically like, learning doesn't only happen in the classroom. It also happens at your gym. Oh yeah. She's learning how to roll towels and well, no, I don't mean that. Floor, I mean, just community, people, caring, giving back, serving others. Like there's a lot to be learned there. And like, as kids, as much as we would like them all to want to be able to sit down and stuff like that, they're just not, kids aren't wired to just sit down and be still for long. Not at all either. I don't know if really any kid is. I don't think they are. We were just kind of forced to. Well, have you ever looked into what happened? Like the revolution, like how this schooling kind of evolved, like creating like union workers 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like
It was allegedly, it was set up to kind of teach people how to work long hours, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so, I think about
And
that.
I'm not against it. For I realize that I am privileged to even be able to do this with my kid. Like I am privileged to, I don't know why I put quotes there, but like I feel like I know there's a lot of people that aren't capable of doing what I do, right? They have a different expectation of work. But I will tell you, the sacrifice that I have to do is I do school at 7:45 in the morning before I start work with my daughter. And we're both up and we do an hour of school. And that's that's where we stop. We do 1 hour and that's what she does.
You open that door for $1 million every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To me, it's worth it. And it's also worth it to me. Like I also have an issue with the fact in my head that I'm like, wow, am I not giving her enough? Like, what if she wants to be a doctor and my schooling isn't enough for her? But I also feel like I wouldn't be called to do this unless I was capable of giving her what she needs. And I will tell you what, my relationship with school and how it went for me was not good. And I will be damned if she has to experience that. So if I can make her just at least feel like she's worthy, and that she's capable, that's all that matters, because I felt dumb. I felt like I wasn't enough. I felt like I was slow, like all the things. Like school was not a good experience for me. I know my parents tried so hard, but like I just didn't get a lot of things super quick. Like it took time for me. And I don't feel like I was given that time. And I feel like Tristan is thriving on so much little. Like it's just less expectations.
Well, I mean, these were your words, I think, before we started, that she's a lot like her dad, which is ironic. But is he kind of like that too?
What's interesting is that Landon really he was really smart. He still is. He's incredibly smart. He hasn't changed.
Stop being different.
Yeah. He's extremely smart. He reads, make fun of, he'd probably get pissed I say this. He reads really slow.
Hey, I listen to audiobooks, but
Landon
I
hates reading.
Look,
I've read more books. Reading.
I have read more books in the last couple of years, and any of the baloney that comes out of my mouth is coming out by these books I listen to. So I think it's turning out okay.
Yeah, but he reads really slow if he does. He doesn't really enjoy reading books that much. But when he does, he remembers everything because he absorbs it. Right. I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, what's going to happen next? Read quick, but he's super smart. He was always like the kid that got the report card that said disruptive in class, interrupted in class, which was similar to me.
Also sounds like similar to your daughter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a hybrid of both of y'all, probably.
Oh yeah. I think that when Lan and we didn't, that's another thing. We didn't decide to have a kid, right? When we tried it out and it worked. I don't think that
you came to a compromise.
We came to a compromise.
A very, very hard compromise.
Yeah. I don't think that we realized what like Adrien and Landon was going to make. Like it's incredible what we have made.
But isn't that fucking cool?
Of course it's cool, but it's also scary as shit. Like it really is. Like you have this human who, especially Tristan, who has more life and energy and spitfire and like all the things, strong-willed, like to the max, right? Like Lana and I are both strong-willed. Like you just take both of us and you make it like double. Like we have this human that we've created, and like when we're talking to her, we're like, what has happened? Like, but we created that. But learning how to like kind of, I don't want to say mold her because I don't feel like that's my job. No. My job's not to mold her. My job is to support her. But I feel like the expectation to have this like perfect kid who stands in line and does this and doesn't yell and does, all this stuff. It's just like, let them be a kid. That's another reason why. Like, I feel like if you put him in these schools, like Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, it's just, I feel like I'm taken away from who she is. And that's not every kid. It's not every kid's like that. There's a lot of kids that I know that do great in that environment.
Most kids will probably be doctors, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Tristan told me she wanted to be a doctor, and I was like, well,
but
but
look,
she can be whoever she wants to be. I'll support it. I mean,
look, I feel like I've told this before, but my daughter is she's going to be 4. And it's good to know your letters and numbers. You should be starting to learn these types of things and stuff like that. And it's, it's a viable concern. But what I'm more concerned about is that her teachers say that she's kind and that she always wants to help others. And she's always seen how she can be helpful around the classroom and, just caring. And, I mean, what else?
Do you get told that about your child?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Tristan, I don't get told that about.
No, but what I'm saying is that I mean, there is probably a kid running around the planet that's Doogie Howser. That he's 10, and we all know he's going to be a goddamn doctor. But everybody else is going to get drunk in college and then figure their life out and then become doctors like normal people, or they're going to come from another country where everybody's smarter than us.
Yeah.
So,
but why is a doctor always what's so you're going to grow up and be a doctor? What happened to why is that the
do you know what my daughter told me she wants to be right now?
I can't.
And I confirm this every once in a while. You know what she wants to be?
What?
A firefighter.
That's great.
And I have a friend that's a firefighter, and I go, okay, well we'll talk to Uncle Joe about going to the fire station shields. Let's go. I was like, okay.
My daughter wants to be in Cirque du Soleil.
Sure. Why not?
While doing fingernails.
But look.
It's so great. Can you imagine?
You can do fingernails, right? You can do those right now. You don't have to wait till you do it. But here's what I need her to understand. And this would be whether I had a boy or a girl. And maybe on some level it's harder for a girl. But if you want to do these things, that's going to require work.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody going to hand you Cirque du Soleil. Mm-hmm. And ain't nobody going to hand you fire department. And sure the ain't nobody hand you shit a lot of times because you're a girl, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I want to prepare her for the reality of that, but go, it's not a roadblock. That's not a stopping point. That's just a speed bump on what the you're doing here, right? What your goals are, these things are small. So how are you going to get there? And how you want to do that? And all I'm here to do is support you. I'm here to Sherpa this shit out.
Do you ever feel like that, I guess expectation, I don't know if it's the right word. Expectation is not the right word. Do you ever feel like that is a lot to bear?
What expectation?
Of creating that type of human?
A lot to bear for them
no,
or
for
me?
You. Not bear's not the right word. I don't know if the word I'm looking for. A lot of weight to carry.
Like a lot of responsibility.
Thank you. Correct.
No, I was trying to get where you get.
That's a good word. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah, but I love it.
Why do you love it so much?
Because, you know what I really love the most about my girlfriend is she's caring and sweet and old-fashioned in a way of she likes to cook for me, even though sometimes it makes me feel uncomfortable that somebody's cooking for me all the time because I'm old. I was single. I haven't had some wife cooking for me and shit.
That didn't happen with your ex.
Nah, no offense. I mean, not that she's listening. But and so I had to get comfortable with these things that she wants to do that makes her feel like she cares about me, right? So she has this whole side, but then don't with her. You know what I mean? Because she will stand up for herself and she will fight for herself, and I respect the out of both of those things. And I feel like I couldn't have picked a better partner with a balance of who I am to create this little human that could be something really special because her mom is special in these certain ways. And I have these qualities in these certain ways.
She's pretty awesome, dude.
I mean,
I'm serious. She's great.
No, but I'm 48 years old. What else the am I doing right now? That's the way I kind of look about it. I'm like I've done a lot of shit. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I was single, no kid, married, no kids. Like, I mean, I've done shit. Like, I've been doing some shit. Now it's like kind of like I have an opportunity to really.
You have opportunity to create an impact, man, in a very small way, but be very big.
Well, like she was, you before we started, you saw her coming over to me and says like, she was like, Daddy, don't interrupt. If you're you need to raise your hand. Did you see that?
Yeah, my daughter would never have done that.
Yeah. And like, I mean, like, because like that's the way we run ship around here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's respect all around the house. It's like, you know what I mean? Like we always say, please. Everybody says please and thank you.
Oh yeah, we do please and thank you and all that kind of stuff too, for sure. Tristan's I'm telling you, she's different, man. She's Landon. They be who they be.
But like, see.
But I like that about them.
Well, so totally great. But also that tells me two things. One, it tells me that Landon should have all the secrets on how to wrangle this all in. Since
He does. It's a very big blessing because I can't.
Okay, but two, that should tell you a lot about the relationship with Landon for you.
Well, let me tell you what. Having Tristan has taught me a lot.
But I mean,
I did not understand. I feel like having Tristan has taught me more about Landon in the last 7 years than the 11 that I've known him.
Well, maybe that's what she was. That's
I mean, I like so many things about him
that's why you're called to do it for each other.
Yeah.
To bond y'all.
Yeah. Like it's been hard, man. It still is hard because I feel like the only thing we do argue about is parenting her and making sure, because we both have put such weight on each other to not, we just want to have this relationship with her, like in life later. I don't know what it is about the fact that we have this fear that she won't like us later. How everyone has falling out with their parents or that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Who's not going to like me? Like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
I feel like that too, but like kids are weird. But like I was telling my best friend over the weekend, I was like, dude, when like my daughter finds out about like a club, like where you go and there's such loud music and like you can just dance and the music, like when Tristan finds out about that world, I mean, she's done. Like for my kid, like the music loud. She's like me. We like music. We like to dance. We just like it. And I was like, and I'm going with her. Like she will go to the club with me for the first time. And she was like, no, she's going to like go by her, like go with her friends. I'm like, no, she's not. Like I'm going with her. Like, and I told Tristan, I was like, the first club you go to, I will be there. Will you shake on it? And she's like, absolutely. She has no idea what I'm talking about. But she agreed.
You need a contract.
I know,
that handshake ain't shit.
Right,
yeah,
I know. But I'm serious about it because I mean, like, I feel like life right now feels so challenging and so out of control, but hasn't even started. But
do you know what's so funny is I kind of. Okay, so
you're at 4.
No, but I know I only have that perspective.
No, I feel like you've got a lot of perspective. I think 3 and 4 is crazy.
Oh, like it's been so fucking amazing.
Yeah, you have a different way of looking at it than I did. It rocked me real hard.
Well, because this is why I think that could be possible. Okay, this is just one angle.
If you talk to Landon, he would not say it's fucking awesome. He just wouldn't. He wouldn't say that.
Well, because
we're selfish.
No, I don't. Well, I'm selfish. You know what I mean? But
she is awesome though. Like she is awesome. But like this whole shift into parenthood for us, it's been really hard.
Well, I mean, I didn't think I was going to have kids. Like I thought that. I mean, because I got married, got divorced. And now I'm like 40, 43 at this point. And like, I don't even have a relationship. I don't even have a girlfriend. Well, I mean, I got a girlfriend shortly after that, but like, I was like, well, I mean, I'm definitely not having kids. And then the person I pick is in her 40s or she was in her late 30s at the time. She definitely probably doesn't want to have kids. So I was like, okay, well, cool. No kids. We'll keep rolling life. No kids. You know what I mean? And then, boom.
This final segment is brought to you by HeyJustBe.com. I believe that achieving balance in the mental, physical, and metaphysical aspects of your purpose through learning, serving, and creating can transform your life into one you truly enjoy living. Want to learn more? Visit www.heyjustbe.com.
Okay. Anyways, so how I usually wrap this thing up is I ask people, what do you do to just be the best version of yourself so you can be good for everybody else? But what I've asked Adrien to do is kind of talk about your journey from getting your implants to getting them removed and the experience of the whole thing, even maybe the positive experience in the beginning to what the last experience was?
Well, I mean, I think that I don't really like to live any regrets in life. So I'm not going to say I regret getting them. I mean, that would be, I don't know. I don't want to think of it like that. I mean, I definitely feel like they were part of my journey and they were a part of me. I mean, when I got my implants, it was definitely to create another way to perfect my body at the time, right? Which was not, in my opinion, not healthy. But I did it and it is what it is, right? When I got my implants in, I did not have the same outlook on overall health. I didn't have the same outlook on what it meant to be healthy from a holistic standpoint. I just hadn't hit that part of my life fully yet. So I did not really explore, research, or really do much of anything on that avenue in regards to like what it does to the human system or the body. The fact that it is a foreign object that your body's, basically
Actively rejecting
regularly. I didn't fully understand what happened also when they were put in and stuff like that. Because when you put implants in the body, within 5 days, an entire scar tissue encapsulates it, right? Which is attached to your pectoral wall, 360 all the way around. And it was pretty crazy to me to learn that happens within 5 days. Like that's how quickly the body's like, what is this?
What the?
Yeah, like let me try to shield it, right? So, I mean, it did create a lot of barriers for me, I feel like, in training CrossFit, in regards like you're not supposed to do like a lot of push-ups, you're not supposed to do a lot of stuff like that. I did have a rupture that happened, which is supposed to be really rare. But it like one day I was changing in a dressing room and I looked up and like one boob was up and one was down. And I was like, that's off. So went and got a scan and it was ruptured. So the implant company actually paid to replace it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got this. It was on my left side. I got a second surgery, which that's the side that I had the E. coli and what was the other one that I had? I feel like my DNA says, but there's another major one. I'm going completely blank right now. And it was a big one. Anyway, so I had that repaired and put another implant in. So this side's actually had 3 breast surgeries, where this one's had 2. The first one and the third one were lifts as well, which is pretty serious surgery.
Yeah.
Anyway, so everything was fine. I thought I didn't know any like the symptoms that I had. I really didn't know that they were linked to anything like that. There's a lot of really weird symptoms like rashes that come along with it, like sleep, eye twitching. There's so many, but you could say that with anything, right? They can find something for anything these days. But it didn't really start. I didn't really notice as much until I had Tristan, and then I went through the trauma of birth, which was a beautiful trauma, but still trauma, especially the way that I did it at home, right? With no assistance. It was very long for me too. And then the transition into motherhood with, eating disorder, body image, there's a lot of trauma and stress. Then breastfeeding and stuff like that. My hormones and everything just kind of got out of whack, and my autoimmune disorder just kind of like flared up really, really big, to the point where, someone who gets weight off of people for a living, I couldn't do it for myself. My eyes were super swollen all the time. I felt terrible. I would get like regular, like just rashes on my neck. Couldn't sleep. I just felt like crap all the time, no matter what I did. Couldn't lose weight. So yeah, I started doing a lot of research and found this breast implant illness page that someone actually sent me. A client sent me. I'm Claudia. She probably won't listen to this, but she actually was like, "Hey, have you heard of this thing called breast implant illness?" I wonder if that is kind of, could that be what's making you feel so sick all the time? And she filled me in on that. And I followed this girl who, like, she was like a fitness influencer or something like that a long time ago. And I started thinking about it, researching. I was like, So then I started thinking about it and started thinking about my symptoms and like how things had progressed and just kind of like some other things that I started experiencing, like my ADD ramping up, like just my anxiety, just stuff that was like kind of out of control that I thought were just normal. So then I decided to move forward with the surgery, which was really hard because you can't pick your child up for like weeks, right? So I had to have someone with me around the clock after the surgery. And the explant is very intense because they have to burn the entire capsule off the pectoral wall. And you have to make sure you have a surgeon that knows what they're doing, because if not, some of that scar tissue could be left behind and then they stitch you back up and you're still in the same boat. So you have to find someone that really knows how to really to do a full explant, not a like partial explant. And then, so yeah, I had that done. And staph was the other one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Here's the deal. We all naturally have that in our system, right? Yeah. But this wasn't the good one. It was like through the roof. Like it was really, really bad.
That's bad.
But you could see I have pictures I could show you of the progression of seeing the white in my eyes again from like day 1 post-surgery, day 3, day 5, day 7, and day 10. Like my eyes went from like this to like up again. My face, like it was crazy. My face changed. The inflammation.
I mean, you were being poisoned. I mean,
Yeah. So, and here's the deal. Like I know a lot of women have them still, and I know a lot of women have no issues with them, or claim to not. For me personally, like where I was at with my body and myself, like I felt like I had a foreign object in my body that I just needed to get out. And I also I've kind of got into this place where, I stopped doing all the injectable, like Botox. I used to microdose Botox. I did it for our wedding, like many, many years ago. And I lost my TMJ, all this kind of stuff. Like eventually I stopped doing all that. Like I've gotten to the place where like, I kind of want my daughters to see me for who I'm supposed to be and who I am type of thing. I'd be curious how long it takes for me to like dye my hair black, but, I kind of want her I don't want her to see me with stuff that's not mine. I want her to know that it's okay to be who she is, right? Whether she chooses to get implants or Botox or whatever down the line, that as she started getting a little bit older too, I just didn't want to have my body, didn't want to have to deal with it. It was very challenging for me to like go from having these perfect boobs to not. I will say that. Like not having
it's a mind
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, when the plastic surgeon told me, he was like, just so you know, like you're going to have like real boobs now. Like they're going to go like down, like, and you're like, he made them great. Like I have a lip, I have everything. People still think I have, fake boobs sometimes. Right. But like, they're still incredibly different.
Yeah, sure.
But so for me, it's been really challenging because a part of my body dysmorphia disorder and my eating disorder really came from my boobs. Like I felt like they made me feel larger than I am, right?
Okay.
Like on my frame. When I got those implants, they actually brought them in closer and made me feel more confident in my body especially when I didn't have clothes on. So like they played a big role in that for me. So taking them out and them just being like, they're really just fat. So like, to me, they're like
just being boobs.
They're just being boobs and they're fat. And like, they just, like they're just what they are. But so accepting them that for what they are has been a little bit challenging for me.
I think that's very fair though.
Yeah.
It's extremely fair.
I don't regret getting them out at all. I feel so much better. I will say that it's been very challenging for me to gain my fitness back to even what it was before. The plastic surgeon didn't completely disclose that information to me till after the fact. because he told me, he's like, I didn't tell you you would only come back to like 40% of your capacity, because you wouldn't have done it, and you needed to get them out because they were making you sick. In regards to like my pushing strength, I have an entire hole
Sure.
on either side where the capsule and implant was.
Right.
That's just a concave hole. So my pectoral wall is different. My pectoral muscles can't really develop the same. I kind of develop a different lat group muscle weird thing. My scap and infraspinatus, all those muscles tend to have to work harder. I can't really get movements back like I used to with like gymnastic skills, which has been extremely challenging for me. I'm still on a journey to get back at that. So, it's been a journey, but like, I feel like for me personally, going to sleep at night, knowing that my body isn't rejecting something on a daily basis is peace of mind, probably, of that played the biggest role. But I will tell you, Mike, detoxing, like, I feel like I might still be, I think I'm on the tail end of that, like sauning regularly, because I have a genetic mutation that I don't sweat very much, so I need to force it. So sauning and doing a lot of muscle testing to get like liver detox and kidney detox and stuff like that, just like really detoxing my pathways to make sure that I've got all of them out, right? Like what they were doing for years. So it's been, but I don't have rashes like on my neck anymore and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. I can sleep without assistance.
I mean,
I don't drink caffeine.
But look, this is where I'm at 48. I'm in a place where I'm like, I just kind of figured this whole thing out, this whole life thing. I feel like I'm really hitting a groove at this point. And so now I'm kind of like, well, my body starts falling apart. I'm really so my whole goal is just to feel as good as I can physically and mentally every single day. Because I don't,
great goal.
Because I don't know how many of them I have. I don't know when.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's my $1 million at the door. I don't know what day it's showing up. And like, I guess in this scenario, the $1 million is like going to heaven. But like, it's like, that's what I'm showing up for my day, every day, because I am getting paid $1 million. It's my body. It's $1 million is my body. Yeah. It's my mind.
Well, how teaching people to do that so hard though. We live in a very different world than a lot of people. Like their $1 million is their $1 million at work.
Well,
like, and I tell people, I'm like, why does all this work matter? Why does all this money you're making matter?
Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you the cycle. Okay, the cycle is you have more than you need, so you need to make more money to pay for the shit. And so now you have to work that job. But if you scaled back to what you really need, you might be able to get a lesser paying job and something more of that you want to do, or, it might grow into something that allows you to afford all the things that you want. But like, there's so many people, you see the statistics all the time about how much people are living outside their means. Mm-hmm. Once you're living outside of your means, you're a slave to whatever your job is. I'm not a slave to my job because I don't live outside my means. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, that's why I have the freedom that I do. Mm-hmm. But that comes with sacrifice. I have to sacrifice a lot of stuff, Mm-hmm.
That's good shit.
Did you have fun?
On what? This?
On the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, I love talking.
I've
always wanted to like do a podcast like regularly. I just never made the time.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. So I always ask everybody, give me a hug. You want to give me a hug?
Yeah.
All right, you push that mic out right there, or up or out. Whoa.
I'm like, what am I doing?
No, I just didn't want it to like come back and hit you in the head. Thank you so much.